A few months ago, I made a video about KUKI Shinobu that I called "This is what peak KUKI Shinobu looks like." And while it was a very good video, actually one of my most viewed videos ever by far, and the build in it was really good, there was one slight problem, and that is my Shinobu in that video was only C1. So even though I called her peak KUKI Shinobu, she wasn't really peak because, I was missing some constellations. But it's different now. Last week I did a lot of rows on the Nilu banner, and as you can see, Shinobu is right here. So of course I got some constellations. Actually, all the constellations I needed, all the constellations I wanted, I got C6 Shinobu. So today we're gonna take a look at my build again and see how much better Shinobu is now at C6. So I haven't activated the constellations yet, but yeah, as you can see, I have 5 of these things, so I do have C6. It's just that I want to show her at C1 first, so that we then can compare C1 to C6. Okay, let's go over the build now. As you can see, she has 40k HP, which is really nice. Like, you won't see many Shinobus with that much HP. And also a decent amount of elemental mastery at 744. Yeah, rest of the stats don't really matter that much. She doesn't really have any ER or crit or, bonuses, elemental bonuses. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. What you need is elemental mastery and HP. The weapon I'm using on her is actually Nilu's weapon, the Key of Khaj-Nisut, which is a really good weapon for Shinobu too. And I'm using the 4-piece Gilded Dreams for artifacts. And obviously I focused on EM and HP in the substats. And also the main stats, it's all elemental mastery. And last but not least, we have the talents at 9, 10, 9. So that's the build, and it's still the same build as in the previous video. I know that there's now a set that is technically better for her than the Gilded Dreams, but I already have such good Gilded Dreams pieces that I don't really want to farm the new set because it's not that much of an improvement, and I don't really need the sets in that domain for any other characters, so it's kind of resin inefficient, so I'm just gonna keep my Shinobu on the Gilded Dreams set that she already has. Okay, so the main things I want to test today are, for one, her healing. I want to see how much she actually heals after I activate the constellation that increases her skill level by 3. And then the other and more important thing is with her C4, this Thunderbolt that she summons while normal attacking. Yeah, it should make it easier to activate the key's passive. Because if you look at this here, yeah, when an elemental skill hits opponents, you gain these stacks, and then when you gain all 3 stacks, you get some extra EM. I mean, you get EM for every stack, but then even more when you have all 3 stacks. And normally, that means that you have to hit the opponent 3 times with Shinobu's elemental skill. And it sadly doesn't work from off-field. So Shinobu has to be on-field to activate all 3 stacks. So basically what you do is you hit the opponent once with the initial cast of the skill, and then you have to wait for 2 ticks of her skill before you can switch her out, if you want the full effect of this weapon. But then with C4, basically you can, between the initial cast of the skill and the first tick of the skill, you can just normal attack once to get that Thunderbolt, and that counts as elemental skill damage as far as I'm aware, so it should be much faster to get all 3 stacks. So that's the main thing that I wanna test today. And as usual, my volunteer is gonna be Masanori here, so let's just jump right in. And yeah, what we have to do here basically is first we have to trigger an elemental reaction to get the elemental mastery from the Gilded Dreams set. And then with all 3 stacks of the Key of Khaj-Nisut, we should get up to like 1122 EM. And yeah, that's gonna take 3 ticks. So yeah, let's just apply Dendro first. Trigger element reaction, initial cast, first tick, and now before we get to the second tick, yeah, as you can see, she's not even at 1000 elemental mastery because she only has 2 stacks of the weapon. But now, if we wait for the next tick, yeah, now she's at 1122 because now 3 stacks. But with C4 it should go much faster. But before I activate the constellations, let's take a look at her healing real quick so we can compare healing before to healing after activating the constellations. So 3600 right now. Okay. Okay, so far so good. That was just a short reminder of what C1 Shinobu looked like. And now I think it's time to finally activate those constellations. Really excited for this. Shinobu is one of my favorite characters, and I wanted more constellations for her for so long. Especially like the C2. It's amazing. 3 seconds more duration on her skill basically means 100% uptime. Then we have more levels on the skill, which means more healing. And of course the C4, that should make it easier to activate the key's passive. Then yeah, more burst damage here is okay, I guess, but her burst is not the most important part of the kit. And last but not least, we also got this, which kinda, you know, can also help a bit with Hyperbloom damage. Because of this here, more Elemental Mastery. But yeah, you have to be really low HP. Which I guess is actually not that hard to achieve with Shinobu, since she takes HP away from herself by using her skill. Okay then, let's see how fast we can get up to the 1122 Elemental Mastery now. First we have to apply a different element again, and then we just use skill, normal attack once, second skill take, and now we should already have it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we don't need to wait for another take of the skill. We can just immediately switch out to other team members now and do the thing. And the thing is Hyperbloom. Also the healing, how much is it now? Over 4000? Yep, nice. And we can immediately cast it again because of the higher duration. As soon as it ends, it can be casted. Okay, yeah, with all those constellations, Shinobu should be even nicer to use now. She was already a good character before, but now it's a nice quality of life, more skill duration, more healing, easier to activate the passive of the weapon. I like it. Overall, very good improvement here. But obviously we are not done yet. We have seen now what the constellations do, but what we haven't seen is how strong Shinobu Hyperbloom actually is. Of course I can't just end this video without a actual battle against Master Nori, not just some test runs, but a battle where I actually try to kill him. And as you can see, my team for this is Lumine, Shinobu, Yelan, and Rosaria. It's like my typical Hyper Fridge team that I also sometimes use in Abyss. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Lumine applies the Dendro, Yelan applies the Hydro, so that we get blooms, then Shinobu Hyper blooms them, and Rosaria is there for some freezes in between. But I'm not even gonna fight normal Master Nori. Let's take it up a notch. Let's go Midnight Master Nori. Okay, here we go. Fight me. Okay, first I'm gonna use Lumine's skill. Then, Lumine's burst, then Yelan's burst. Ow. And then we basically just Hyperbloom him to death. First phase done. Need to get Lumine's burst back. There we go. Yelan's burst again. Shinobu again. Seeing some 30k Hyperblooms in there, I think. And he is dead. Just like that. How long did it take? A minute? Not even a minute. That was like half a minute. To get through both phases of Midnight Master Nori. That's how fucking strong Shinobu is in a Hyperbloom team. Or just Hyperbloom in general is a very strong reaction, and Shinobu is one of the best units to trigger Hyperblooms. Well, can't wait to use this team in Abyss again. But now with C6 Shinobu instead of C1. I really have been waiting for this for a long time. She waited me so much on her first 2 banners, but now in the third one. Finally got her to C6. I'm so happy about this. I love her so much. I hope you also enjoyed this showcase of C6 Shinobu. If you did, leave a like, comment and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, have a nice day.